Hello and welcome to Jersey. It may be blustery, but it's warm, and dare I say it, it nearly feels like summer, and we are here at Lemoy Golf Club for the Jersey Legends. After one regular event and the season's first major, the Order of Merit looks like this. Last year's Order of Merit runner-up, Adilson de Silva, won the opening event at the Riegler and Partner Legends in Austria, then followed it up with a commendable top 20 finish at the KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship at the end of May. It's been a strong start for last year's Barry Lane Rookie of the Year.
Couldn't ask for better. Such a good way to start, and have a ready win under your belt makes such a big difference mentally. So I've been practicing quite hard and feel like it's starting to pay off. My putting, it's coming together, and I feel like I'm hitting it quite nice, so I'm happy with it.
The man who pipped him to the Order of Merit last season is James Kingston. It was an unexpected result in Austria for the South African, who was disqualified from the event.
It's a simple little thing that happened. Just didn't read my rules correctly and play different countries with slightly different rules when we play preferred lies, and I just kept placing the ball a club length instead of a card length, so stupid little error.
This is the trophy that the field are playing for this week. Speaking of trophies, here are a few of Jersey local Ian Woosnam's collection, with 52 professional wins to his name, including that memorable Masters triumph 32 years ago. It's a bit of a novelty that Ian can compete almost on his own doorstep.
Stay in your own bed and everything, 10 minutes away, so it's wonderful, and of course it's playing tricky, as this wind is a really difficult wind. I'm just going to go out, try and enjoy it. If I play well, I play well. If I don't, I'm not going to worry about it too much.
Ian won on this course in the DP World Tour's Jersey Open back in 1987. The island's most recent Legends Tour winner, Richard Green, is back to defend his title this week, and he remembers his victory fondly.
Oh, that's all right.
Well, that's why you won here 12 months ago, Richard. Yeah. Back here to defend your title. What are your memories of your first Legends Tour victory here at Lemoy last year?
Oh, really good memories. Looking back down 17, and what I achieved on that hole to beat Paul was in that playoff was pretty good. It was tough, difficult wind into the wind, and hit a couple of really good shots and to do what I did. So it's great memories to come back and see the place again.
It's a pretty classic links test. What are the main challenges here?
Especially this week, the rough's a bit thicker than it was last year. You've just got to keep the ball in play, and maybe we've not been able to be as aggressive off the tee as we'd like, in preparation for this week. So you're hitting a few more longer shots into the holes, but you're better off playing than not playing, So if you've got to come from the rough, it can be really difficult. It's much more confined with the rough off the fairways, and that's where I certainly feel under pressure is on the tee. So I'm just doing my best to keep it in play and allow myself to score.
Coming up later on in the show, we catch up with Q School champion Keith Horne, and we get the best of the action from the WAP Celebrity Series. But first of all, let's see how the early round action panned out with your commentary team, Paul Eales, and first, Michael McMullen.
Thanks, Kit. So great to be back in Jersey, where Ian Woosnam is very much part of the local scenery these days. The former world #1 enjoyed a healthy following from the galleries throughout his rounds of 74 and 73, a commendable showing a few months on from Woosnam's 65th birthday. Birdie here at the 9th helped Marcus Breer to an opening 68 and into a four-way tie for the lead. 71 to follow kept the Austrian firmly in title contention. Gary Orr did it the other way round, 71 to start, followed by 68 on day 2, including this birdie on 18 just before the mist came in off the English Channel, forcing the players off the course for 90 minutes. Another Scot putting himself in the mix was Greg Hutchin. This birdie attempt at the third didn't quite come off. But the Q School graduate would go into the last day just 3 off the lead. 7 former Ryder Cup players in the field this week, including Peter Baker. 73 to start left him with ground to make up. But how well he did just that, hauling himself into second place with 65, the low round of day 2. But the lowest aggregate belonged to Richard Green. With his clubs delayed in Dallas, he used a borrowed set to play in the Celebrity Series event and was only reunited with his own equipment on the eve of starting his title defence with a 70. The Aussie injected huge momentum into his bid for another Jersey success with this memorable eagle putt at number 6. A 3 on the shortest of the par 5s, standing out in Green's second round 66, leaving him to plan for a big final day.
Pretty much the same, as today, just one shot at a time and try and stay focused on the present and see what comes of it. If you can get the ball rolling and a bit of momentum your way early in the round and throughout the round, that's ideal for trying to win.
Baker is on his own in second, and Philip Price, who led into the final round last year before finishing tied third, is in with a shout again.
It's a beautiful day in Jersey, enough breeze to make things very interesting, and the final group are on the tee. Defending champion Richard Green with a 2-shot advantage. Peter Baker tucked in behind him on 6 under par, and Gary Orr, one of 3 players starting the day on -5. Can the Aussie go back-to-back at Lemoy?
Well, Gary Orr's prospects of stopping him were hit hard by a double bogey at the 5th, but although he passed up this chance to get both shots back at the next hole, the birdie was secured. Ewan McIntosh was a shot outside the playoff here 12 months ago. This birdie at the 7th got him back to 2 under where he'd started the day, and he backed it up with another at the next hole. Back on the road after a top 10 placing in his home country, Marcus Breer is in the mix, and even more so after setting up a certain birdie on number 2. Greg Hutchin was 1 over for the day as he came to the other par 5 on the front 9. 2 putts at the 6th were enough though to get him back to his overnight position of 3 shots behind. Baker's first move of the day was a dropped shot at the 4th, but he immediately balanced the books before making it consecutive birdies with this. The leader opened up his day with a par, and when this effort was holed at the 2nd, Green was suddenly 3 clear. But the shot gain there was given back 2 holes later. Which means that with those 2 birdies, Baker has got it back to 1 behind. South African Keith Horne, the big mover of the day, improving by 3 on his overnight standing of level par. So out to the 7th with Greg Hutchin, and what a great story this is, Paul, in only his 2nd Legends Tour event.
Yeah, coming back from injury, 3 times winner on the Challenge Tour. Pin right at the back of this green, some 30 yards on. Oh, nearly bounced in. That's a super pitch from Greg.
Now talk us through this overhead view of the 7th.
Yeah, downwind on the final day, and it's just a hybrid. So 240 yards to the top of the ridge there, leaving 140 yards through to the pin that, as I say, was cut at the back of the green. Nice hole, but it can be dangerous, as I took 7 there in round 1.
So back on the tee, Peter Baker, 30 years to the week since he shot a final round 63 to win the British Masters by 7 shots.
A beautiful swing there from Peter with just a 4 iron. Yeah, just landing into the upslope, breaking into the middle of the fairway. Perfect tee shot there.
So here is our leader and defending champion. It was a come-from-behind job on the final day last year, trying to win from the front 12 months on.
Players don't need to hit the driver because it narrows down at about 250 yards, which is well within reach today. And another super shot from Richard. Up to the green. Greg, who hails from Aberdeen, unfortunately had a serious shoulder injury, which was a result of a bit of hijinks. Get in there. Well done. That's a birdie putt for him. But back on the road to recovery. And a good putt like that shoots you up the leaderboard.
Yeah, he's only 2 shots behind now. As we return to the man who's out in front.
The yellow spot there, that's 129 yards to the front of the green. Pin on 30, just a wedge for Richard. Oh, and he's just hit the upslope. Another 2 yards in flight, and that would have been up by the flag. And there's the nuances of this Lomoy Golf Club, landing in the right spot.
Mentioned earlier about Peter Baker being a former British Masters champion. So indeed is Gary Orr back in 2000, the year he had both of his regular tour wins.
Great shot from Gary, just carried that little bit further than Richards, and now he's set himself up for a great chance for birdie.
Well, the 3 tee shots all so close together. Baker last to play his approach.
Just a wedge for Pete. Oh, that's a super shot all over it. That would have looked so good to him back in the fairway. Another good chance for birdie.
Yeah, and great to see so many people out enjoying this final round battle on a classic sunny summer afternoon. What a great place Jersey is, Paul.
It certainly is, and it's one of the favourite stops of the players on the Legends Tour. We come back year after year. We're always made to feel so welcome. And this would be a welcome birdie putt if Richard can hold this or even get it close from this range. He's left himself a little bit of work to do to save par here on 7.
Yeah, he didn't get it close at all, did he? With green in danger of dropping a shot, Baker now knows if he can make his birdie putt, every chance he'll walk to the next tee as the new outright leader.
Great chance for Peter here. He's just picking a spot in front of him and trying to roll the ball over. That was his go-to for the week, but oh, he got that one wrong.
So Green can still have a little bit of daylight between himself and the field going to the next if he makes this one. It's tough though.
Oh, he hit a good putt there. Just caught the edge. We're going to have a tie at the top.
Yeah, and that brings a few more players, perhaps more into contention, including Gary Orr, who now has an opportunity to get back to only 3 adrift.
Unusual put-in style, a lot of forward lean on the shaft, the putter grip up the left forearm, but it works.
So from a 3-shot lead standing on the 4th tee, Green now finds himself sharing top spot with Baker. Consecutive birdies mean Hutchin is only 1 back. Horne has picked up another shot at 13. So many players with so much still to play for at Lomoy.
Welcome back to the Jersey Legends at Lomoy. Now, one of the exciting things is every season we get a new crop of players on the Legends Tour. Leading them this year is Q School champion Keith Horne. He had an impressive debut in Austria, and I caught up with him down on the beach. Your rookie season, you won Q School back in January. What was that experience like? Going back to a Q School at this stage in your career?
Yeah, actually, you know, you forget how stressful it is. It really is stressful. I mean, that last day, even though, you know, unless I had a really bad round, I was still going to finish in the top 5. It's extremely stressful the whole way around. I really didn't want to have that over again. it's a tough 4 days. It's so difficult when you realise that you don't have another an opportunity the next week. It's just a one-off. It did make it rather stressful, so I was pretty chuffed to get through.
Yeah. Coming into the season proper, what were your expectations?
I don't know. I suppose just watching the other guys that I used to play with and whether they're doing well or badly gave me an idea of how competitive I would be. Yeah, until I played the first tournament, I didn't really know how things were going to turn out.
And they turned out pretty well in that first tournament, got yourself into a playoff with Adilson de Silva. How much does that set you up for the rest of the season now, having that good result under the belt?
Well, it does a lot of confidence to start with, yes. And also, it's always nice to start off well and you have sort of a lot more belief in how the rest of the season is going to go or your ability on the tour. So a lot more confidence going forward. I think it would have been nice if I'd actually won. It would have set up a few more opportunities. But it was still a great start. I'll take it.
Well, Keith, it's been a brilliant start for you. It's great to have you with us on the Legends Tour. All the best for the rest of the season. But I think there's only one thing to do now, isn't there? The sun's out, so we've got to go and get an ice cream.
Perfect. I'm happy days.
Did you venture down to the ice cream shop at all in Jersey, Paul?
No, I didn't play well enough to deserve one.
I've signed for a few 99s myself over the years. As for Keith Horne, that late charge was halted by bogey at the penultimate hole. This miss meant another at the last, but 70 was his best score of the week, and at 2 under, another top 10 finish beckons after he was runner-up in Austria. The leading trio have all now completed the 8th in accordance with par, so no change at the top, with Hutchin just behind leaders Green and Baker, as we rejoin play on 9.
One of the great things about links golf is it changes every day. Driver here on 9. At the start of the week when this was downwind, it was just a 3-wood and a wedge. Great sign when the player goes down to pick up the tee peg. He knows it's good, and it certainly has carried the road. And in the middle of the fairway, what a beautiful tee shot from Greg.
Let's jump ahead to 12. What a lovely par 3 this is, Paul.
It really is, and there's bunkers there to grab you, but there's always a run-in on these links courses, and short and left, you could find the ball rolling up and onto the green. It won't be rolling onto the green today. The tee was generously put forward, and it's a short pin, only 6 on, 134 yards, and that's a great shot with a wedge from Ewan McIntosh.
Yeah, he birdied 7 and 8, a few pars since then, so a shot under for his day. One of the great things about the Legends Tour, Paul, is that it gives players like Greg Hutchin, who perhaps didn't quite have the pro career they'd hoped for, a second chance.
Well, it's a second chance, but he did win 3 times on the Challenge Tour, and you can see why, hitting shots like that. And let's hope for a good bout of good health for Greg. He's certainly a player.
Yeah, all those Challenge Tour wins more than 20 years ago now, so great to see him still so competitive. And likewise for this man, still such a good player now that he's in his 60s.
Phil Golding, I like the way the tour staff have given us a chance. They've put a difficult pin in short, but they've moved the tee up so we're only hitting short irons, and there's another good shot from Phil. Maybe a 9-iron for Phil there. Back to 9. This really is a difficult tee shot. The roadway down into the clubhouse that runs across the fairway. 250 yards. And that looks a good one for Peter. Down for the tee. Just short of the road, bouncing over, and again in perfect position in the centre of the fairway.
Now up ahead at the green, big moment for Hutchin. This is for his 3rd birdie in 4 holes. It would get him out in 34 and into a piece of the lead.
Totally different putting style to Gary Orr for Greg. Downhill, downwind. Oh, and he's just a little too cautious there. But you can see why. Anything past would have run on. Now a bit of work to do for his par.
McIntosh can't afford any caution at all. He's still got enough holes to make up the ground and get back into contention, but really needs to make something happen here. And the early walk gives it away. Well, Hutchin did hold that relatively short putt for par at the 9th, and that's the green that Baker is now on his way to.
Yeah, 180 yards or so to go. There is a bunker on line on the right-hand side and short. He's got to cover that one. Oh, what a beautiful shot for Peter. Yeah, right in the centre of the green, and sets himself up with another birdie opportunity.
Green followed his win here last year with another in Germany the following month, so if he wins again today, that'll be his third Legends Tour win, already matching his career total on the DP World Tour.
Very elegant player, and he's just tugged that one. Is he going to get away with it? Oh yes, his heart would have been in his mouth at that one. Not the place to be, right hand side of 9.
It was 20 years ago this month that Philip Golding won his only DP World Tour title at the French Open after more than 200 events, and that one gets him to 3 under. Now, even if only temporarily, this would put Baker into the lead on his own.
Yeah, changed the golf ball this week, new putting style, and it's serving Peter well. Oh, he just over borrowed there. That's a good front 9, and he's right in this championship.
So Baker narrowly misses his chance to go clear of the field. Now the same opportunity falls to Richard Green.
Always been a fantastic putter, Richard. No surprise if this one goes in. Clubhouse and first tee in the background. Oh, he's hit that one a little bit firmly. Now this is when the nerves start to jangle.
Yeah, that's going to be an important putt coming up for Green. That will be to avoid a third shot gone in 6 holes. And while he and Baker battle it out for the title, Gary Orr in danger of becoming a bit of a forgotten man in this group.
Yes, needs this for his par, but he's experienced enough to know there's still a long way to go in this championship. Oh, and he's just missed out. One of those days it just happens, if the putter's not hot, you can't score. And while all those around are rolling them in, it's a tough one to keep going.
Gary Orr is out in 38.
Greeny just to tidy this up and remain tied for the lead.
So job done. And that's a front 9 of 37 for Green, so Baker's outward 35 leaves nothing between the leading pair midway through the final round.
Peter, making the turn, heading into the back 9. How do you feel about how this round is going so far?
Yeah, it's going fine. I think it's it's very tight, as you can see, and we've all had a few chances to make a few putts, and some have gone in, some haven't. So it's all very tight.
Brilliant stuff. And how do you feel about the conditions out here?
Yeah, it's proper links day, a little bit of wind, and the course is nice and firm. So yeah, that's what you'd expect. I think it's the course is playing well.
Great stuff. Thanks very much for your time. All the best the rest of the way.
The story continues in Jersey in a moment. Welcome back to the Jersey Legends at Lamoy Golf Club. The first WAP Celebrity Series event of 2023 took place over the links the day before the professional tournament. It featured stars like Keith Duffy, AP McCoy, Chris Hughes and DJ Locksmith. It was warm and sunny, but brutal winds made scoring extremely difficult at this stunning, rugged and natural links. 1996 Formula One World Champion Damon Hill shot a very solid 29 Stableford points to earn a top 5 finish. Legendary Chelsea footballer Gianfranco Zola had a couple of gross birdies in a pretty steady round. The Italian also battled to a respectable 29 points. Former cricketer Alan Lamb spent much of the day in and around the lead. With only 2 blobs on the card, he too scored 29 and third place on Countback. Former England rugby player Kieran Bracken also had 29, but a strong back 9 meant he took second. No one though could stop Brian McFadden, who managed a brilliant score of 33, including 4 net birdies. The Irishman now qualifies for the WAP Celebrity Series Grand Final Destination Mauritius at the MCB Tour Championship Mauritius in December, guaranteeing money for his charity, Bubble.
The great thing is now that, just getting to the final means that your charity is going to make something. So, it's a great start, and hopefully now I can take the top prize over there and really do it for the charity.
So the final leaderboard looked like this, with the former Westlife singer heading off to the Indian Ocean at the end of the year. Kieran Bracken went one better in the Alliance Series. After his runner-up spot in the Celebrity Series, he came out victorious on a countback from Darragh McDermott. Well, Ricardo Gonzalez was playing so well he must have felt like he was flying without wings in the final round of the Jersey Legends until a 6 at the long 11th. But that was his only dropped shot of the day, and although this birdie bid came up short at the last, it was a fine closing 69 for the Italian Senior Open champion. Greg Hutchin could have made a big move with this birdie chance on 12, but the Scot was walking after it quickly. Birdie at the 13th meant Ewan McIntosh may yet have a chance if he could pick up another shot at the next hole. But he was also swiftly on the move. Time looks to have run out for the Scot. Richard Green started for home with a par, then enjoyed a timely birdie on 11, before giving himself a good look at another on the shortened 12th. But he didn't convert, so Baker's own chance for back-to-back birdies raised the prospect of a significant move. He too, though, was off target. Just. So they remained in a tie, coming to 13, where Green almost holed his approach, before safely two-putting to stay at 8 under. Baker's own approach, though, went horribly wrong, and having left this shot still short of the green in 3, it took another 3 shots to complete the hole. All adding up to double bogey, which leaves Baker now sharing second with Hutchin and McIntosh, who's birdied 16 and 17. They all trail Green by 2.
Greg Hutchin on the 14th. Last chance to win that car. Only a few players left after Greg. Back into the breeze today. Playing 186 yards. Left side of the green, runs round. That's a nice shot.
Hutchin, a veteran of the PGA Cup, the Ryder Cup style event for club pros, was on the winning team at Fox Hills back in 2017. Golding 5 times a winner on the Legends Tour, the last of those almost 5 years ago now. Not going to win today, but another good showing.
He won on the Challenge Tour and the French Open, as you mentioned before.
Hutchin still very much in this, and even more so if he can make this one.
It's an outside chance, but he's given it a good run. Oh, wow! What a putt from Greg.
And if he ends today as the Jersey Legends champion, you have a feeling that could be the moment we're looking back on. Let's take a closer look at the hole he's just birdied.
Just the 2 bunkers, front left and front right, guarding this green. It's a big putting surface, but what you can't afford to do is go over the back of the green here. Very, very tricky. Par 3, dependent on the wind direction.
Richard Green just back from his visit to America, where he finished just outside the top 30 in the Senior PGA Championship at PGA Frisco in Texas.
And he had a last round of 63 in Iowa before making the journey. And that's a wonderful shot there. Again, reunited with his clubs, as you were saying, Michael. They were left stranded in Texas.
Remarkable to think, really, that Peter Baker has still only won once on the Legends Tour. It was 4 years ago this week. Beat James Kingston by 5 shots to triumph in France.
Yeah, and he became the 11th player to win on all 3 European tours. And he will be a little bit hot under the collar after that double on the previous hole.
Ewan McIntosh, a winner in Austria at the start of last season. If he makes this and sets a target of 7 under, he's still got a realistic chance He's been a winner again today.
On the green, swinging to the right. Oh, it's a good effort. He's going to come up shy, I think, at -6 there, Ewan.
Yeah, he was so close in Jersey last year, wasn't he? Parred every hole on the back nine to miss the playoff by a single shot. Back to Gary Orr on 14.
Yeah, depending on the lie, either these are easy or difficult. I think Gary must have had a poor lie there. That's not a great shot out of that trap.
Golding had an eagle a couple of holes ago at the 16th, so if he could make this birdie putt, it would complete a great and lucrative finishing stretch.
He completely misread that one. You could see Phil there. Normally a very, very sound putter. Disappointed with that effort. But great to see Phil out again. Bad year last year, but back at it. 2 good tournaments to start this season.
Now, after the horrors of 13, where 2 shots slipped away, Peter Baker has a chance to get one of them back straight away. A long way to travel though, Paul.
It is going down the hill. Got a chance though, Peter. What can great champions do? They can do that. Wow, what a comeback after a miss putt on 12 and a double on 13. Well done, Pete.
6-2 for the last couple of holes. He's still in there. Gary Orr, in all probability now, is not going to be the champion today. Hasn't really featured much in this final round battle.
Not always easy when your playing partners are going well. And there's another one drifting away for Gary. Frustrating afternoon for him.
Well, a good showing in Jersey though. He was in the top 10 here last year, as indeed he was in Austria last month.
He's been a great player for a long time. Not his week.
And now it's the end, hopefully with this shot, of Philip Golding's week.
For one of the few players to wear a visor, still got some hair. That's good.
Plenty of it. Steady stuff this week. Could get him a top 5 placing. Ewan McIntosh did well to respond to yesterday's disappointing 73. Final round 68 for him. He finishes 6 under par.
And here's our leader. Pars at 12 and 13. Can he make a birdie here on the par 3? Oh, yes, he can. What a putt from the Australian.
A couple under now for the back nine, and with that, green is 2 clear once more. McIntosh's fine efforts seem unlikely to be enough, but Hutchin and Baker still have time. 3 contenders left then. The finish is next. The magnificent island of Jersey is once again providing a final day to remember on the Legends Tour as Australian Richard Green bids to hold on to his title. Philip Price was also a winner last year in Ireland. The Welshman out of contention after 2 shots went at the short third, but this up and down on the 16th produced Price's 3rd birdie of the back nine. An early double bogey had also left Gary Orr with a great deal to do, but there were still good moments to come. In particular, this splendid birdie putt at the 15th. Peter Baker's birdie at 14 had kept him in touch with Green. Baker's tidy up here at the next preserved the 2-shot differential. Up ahead at 16, Greg Hutchin also won the battle to save par, so he too remained within a couple of the lead. In all likelihood though, Hutchin still needed to find at least one more birdie. He gave himself every chance with this approach to the 17th, but the putt would be missed. Back at 15, Green had set up an opportunity to put one hand on the very distinctive trophy, but his frustration gave hope to others. Par on 16 has followed for both Green and Baker, so there are still 3 very genuine title hopefuls as the final group arrives at 17, Paul.
Yes, a beautiful hole going out away from the clubhouse, 414 yards toward the sea. Tight fairway, and it's tight because there's a big hollow on the fairway at around about 250 that the ball sweeps down and into the left-hand rough. So all the players are going to try and favour the right-hand side, which gives them better access into the green.
Richard Green wasn't happy with his game in his opening round of 70, so he actually travelled to Royal Jersey Golf Club to put in some practice that evening. And the evidence of what we've seen since, he really pulled off some improvements.
That looks a great ball flight, lands in the fairway, and watch it go down the slope now. He's gained another 30 to 40 yards there by hitting the fairway. That's a terrific tee shot from Richard.
Baker doing the chasing now, got to make up 2 shots in as many holes.
Yeah, Pete's going to try and launch this down the right hand side. Oh, looks like he's cut it a little bit. Got to hit the fairway to get that run. Oh no, he's found the rough. That's not going to move forward at all. That's going to be an awkward place for Pete there from that right hand rough.
What a battle it's been out here today with 2 holes to go. Richard Green right where he started today with a 2-shot lead. I think Hutchin and Baker are going to have to find something special on these closing couple of holes to put some pressure on the Aussie.
We can just see it reflected in that picture there, Paul. The wind seems to have got up a little as this final day has gone on.
Yes, and it's back into Pete's face, but this is an awkward lie. The long, tall grass tends to tangle around the club and you can hit it left. Got to be careful of that. Go on, go on. Oh no, that is so unlucky. And look where this one's going to go. Wow, just a one firm straight bounce and it'd have been up with a birdie putt. Now that's trouble ahead.
Baker not quite finding the recipe. And the outcome of that shot can only strengthen Green's belief that 2 pars probably get the job done here.
Yeah, pin cut on the right hand side, looking for the centre of the green here. Oh, maybe he's not. Oh dear, what a mistake. Such a crucial time to apply the pressure to his playing partner, and he's just left the door ajar.
All of which keeps things very much alive for Greg Hutchin if he can get up and down from this position at the last.
Great tee shot up the right hand side, just a little wedge, maybe 110 yards down the green. Oh, he's got away with that. What a shot this is ending up to be. Wow, what a chance for Greg.
So we go back a hole to Baker. Have to feel up and down from here is an absolute must for him.
Yeah, tough shot depending on the lie. Uphill he can't see the bottom of the flag. He's played it nicely. Go on. Oh, just run it by. That was a good shot from Pete. Gives himself a chance to save par.
Not been Philip Price's day. He'll be defending at Sea Point Links later in the month.
In the centre of the fairway, the green tilts from right to left here, so Phil will be trying to land this right of the flag and spin it down the slope. What a play. Ryder Cup legend. Tell him who I beat.
I think we all know by now, don't we? Phil Mickelson at the Belfry in 2002. Now Richard Green, I think he'd happily take his par the way things are unfolding.
Yeah, fortunately able to get the putter on that, so it wasn't as bad as it looked from the fairway, and that's a wonderful touch there. And that's going to keep his lead going down the final hole.
Gary Orr has never really got into contention today for what would have been his 3rd win on the Legends Tour. Hardly surprising to see so many Scots doing well on a course of this nature. And here's one of them, Greg Hutchin, one of the biggest putts of his life.
Yeah, this is a huge putt. Has he got the line right? Yes, he has. Birdie to finish. Wow, what a great week for Greg Hutchin. Is it going to be enough?
He's just hung around and hung around all day, never slipping out of contention really at any stage. Now he's asked the question.
Compete hole this one from 10 feet. Oh, he was up quickly. Oh, you've just got to feel that the frustration has been building for him over this closing stretch on the back 9. See the disappointment.
Yeah, he's going to have to eagle the last now to have any chance. Shades of Fulford in '88 when he made those 2 eagles to beat Nick Faldo in the B&H. Philip Price was hoping that would be the last stroke of his week. Not quite. Steady stuff in the end though. Philip Price finishing on 3 under. Now Orr has completed his par on 17. Green now needs to do the same to stay ahead of Hutchin going up the last. And now that he's done that, Green knows that a closing par will be enough to make him the champion here in Jersey again. Baker needs an eagle on 18 and would still require some help from the Australian. So one good swing here, Paul, and it should all be his.
Yes, one bunker up the left-hand side at 253 to be avoided at all costs. Looks like he's tugged it, but that's fine down the right-hand side. Gives him an angle into the front left-hand pin.
What a glorious setting, just screams summer. You see all that. Jersey's been such a part of the European professional golf scene for several decades now.
Well, not as good as I thought it was. Again, just as Peter Baker had on the last, he's got to make sure he just doesn't wrap the club over and tug this to the right. Good news is it's only a wedge down and everything runs down and onto the green. Oh, he's played that beautifully. Well done, Richard Green, yeah.
So the rest look to be playing for placings now, and Gary Orr will claim 5th on his own if he can end his week with a par.
Yeah, great skills from Gary there. He'll be disappointed and frustrated, but still another good week.
So the last opportunity for Baker to retain even a theoretical chance here.
He's such a good iron player normally, Peter. This has to go in, it's a big ask, and it's just coming up short as he is. No greater frustration when he thought he had it. A great chance going into that back 9.
Well, it's certainly a nice feeling to stand on the final hole of a tournament knowing you've got 2 putts to win it all, but this isn't guaranteed by any means.
No, it's a thick end of 50 feet. I'd like 3 putts to win from there, not 2. There's a little bit of right to left in this, but pace is critical.
And maybe now he can relax just a bit. It's been another good week from Peter Baker. Couldn't quite recapture the magic of yesterday's 65.
Yeah, he was telling me he could have shot nothing in that round. He just died away on that back 9. That's another good week for Peter. He's a class player.
And he's left with that tap in to claim a share of 3rd place. Well, it's another outing in the final group on the last day of a Legends Tour event this season for Gary Orr. But 3 shots went in the first 5 holes today, and he was never likely to win it after that. He's going to finish 5th on his own, whether this one goes in or not. Yeah, still would have liked to finish with a birdie. It makes no difference to the outcome. 73, not what he had in mind. Top 5 though, for the Scot. This is the 19th time this tournament has been played. Only Delroy Cambridge has won it twice. His wins though were 7 years apart. But for Richard Green, it's back-to-back success. Joy at Lamoy. Once again, he's the Jersey boy. 70 to start, 66 yesterday, setting him up for today. Green led by 3 early on, and although he was caught for a time, crucially, he was never overtaken. And he wins by 1 from Hutchin. So just like in Austria, it's a Legends Tour rookie claiming the runner-up spot. Hutchin, one of 3 Scots in the top 5 on this famous links.
For Australia, Richard Green.
A moment to savour for the very well-liked 52-year-old from Melbourne. The trophy stays in his possession, presented by His Excellency Admiral Sir Jerry Kidd, Lieutenant Governor of Jersey.
We had a bit of a rough start to the week with some bags not turning up on time, but
fortunately just in time for the golf clubs, and was able to relax and get into the tournament. But it's such a fantastic, feeling to come back and win again, in a place that I fell in love with when I first came here last year.
And he soars 25 places to number 2 on the early order of merit, behind Adilson de Silva, who finished in the group tied for 22nd.
What a brilliant end to a roller coaster week for Richard Green as he goes from not having his own golf clubs to defending his Jersey Legends title here at the glorious Lemoy Golf Club. Up next for us on the Legends Tour, it's the Irish Legends at Sea Point. We'll see you there.